Hello there, my YouTube family. How are you? I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper, coming to you once again. You know, we started a video live, and when we started the live video, there was a disruption with the service, the internet service, so I didn't get to complete what we had started, and that was the risk-taking narcissist. So this is a continuation of part 2 of that. Many of you have written me and said how you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. And I want you to continue to write me at destinyhelper12s at gmail.com. Destinyhelper12s. Many of you are asking for sessions, and many of you, which I am a life coach. And so you feel free to write me and we can arrange that. We can make that happen. Write me, destinyhelper12s at gmail.com. Now, those of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Those of you that have not subscribed, why don't you subscribe? And once you subscribe, push the bell, and every time I do new content, you will be notified. And anytime we have conferences, anytime we're on Zoom, you will be the first one to know. Thank you so much. And if I'm in your area, I will make sure that I notify you. I travel all over, and sometime I may be in your area, and maybe we can have lunch or something like that together. Thank you so much. Let's continue with what we started with the risk-taking narcissist. It can be a tremendous job as a supply dealing with adrenaline narcissists that live off adrenaline. They are just hype. They're always on the edge. They're a risk taker. The most dangerous of this is the psychopathic, the sociopathic, and the malignant narcissist that may go to the extreme. The malignant narcissist will go to the extreme and probably have some endangerment involved. And I mean, these are high risk. They're always on the edge. They're mountain climbers, but the way they climb mountain would be a high risk factor. You know, they don't always brace themselves in. They may try to do a feat that is not necessarily safe, or they're not all the way hooked in case there is an endangerment involved. And what happens is when you start living on the edge, and you're not used to living on the edge, and you're living with adrenaline, I mean, your heart is palpitating, you're sweating, fears are coming, and then what you'll find yourself getting paranoid from the memory of the extent that you took that risk. And you'll find yourself, if you don't break the pattern, you will start taking higher and higher risks. And those risks may go from an event into now finances, to other relationships, and you can go as broad as you are willing to go. You have to set boundaries. These boundaries are safety factors to keep you from going over the edge, especially as an older person, when you're supposed to be more responsible, more regimented to accountability, first to you, God, then yourself, and to your children, to your family. All of that goes into a risk factor when you are dealing with an adrenaline rush narcissist that has patterned themselves. Every day they are bored easy. They agitate when you don't conform to their requests. They may say something, you know, on a whim. They want to go to the mountains on a whim. They want to go to Florida. And you're saying, we can't go to Florida. You know, the kids, and that irritates and agitates the narcissist, because that adrenaline is what they live by. It's their drug. It's their rush. And you'll find yourself not wanting to lose the narcissist, but wanting to comply to everything they're asking you to do. And the narcissist, the narcissists only think of themselves, only think of themselves. And you know, when you have children, you have to consider a wider range of thoughts, a wider range of responsibility and accountability. When you're owning property, owning a home, have a business, you can't always mandate finances to go out spontaneously because you have budgets, you have goals, you have employees that you have to pay, you have insurances that you have to pay, you have investments to grow your property, to extend yourself. And all of this cannot happen when you live spontaneously. When something comes, you don't weigh it out, you just go. The risk-taking narcissist will take you there, and you are always on the edge, you're always agitated, and soon you lose yourself because you start to live a falsity. You don't live your true self, you don't come to your authentic self. You start living what the narcissists want, and they start rewriting your mind, rewriting your script, because you start to please them rather than to grow and know yourself, to get confidence in who you are. If you don't know who you are, people are so ready to tell you who you are. You have to have the confidence of who you are. You have to spend time with you to get to know you. That is God's honor to you. And your honor to God is to grow what he's given you, yourself, your gift, your talents, your dreams, your goals. And many of your goals, you don't even have them anymore. You don't know the extent of the goals. Your whole life has taken a shift. You're off track. You're no longer on the track that you were. Why? Because the narcissist that is a risk taker is always in a new something. It's this sparkling adventure. It's this living on the edge, and you are sweating, your heart is palpitating, you are thinking, and many of you have regrets because you knew the answer should have been no, but you have the answer as yes. Because whatever you do, the narcissists get that adrenaline and the addiction and the love bombing is so overwhelming that when you start to live on the edge, it is really fun. It's adventurous. But what happens is, as you grow into the relationship, you're looking to grow into the responsibility. You're looking to go into the leeway of maturity. You're looking to build, and to build aggressively with accountability. And with the narcissists that live by risk, that is not happening. Risk always have an endangerment or a harm factor to them. It's like investments. When you invest, you're not guaranteed that that investment is going to keep up. And when you start investing like the stock market, it is a high risk factor. And when you put your money in, unless the stock go up, the product advance, you could lose your money. And that's the risk you take with a lot of stock market and other market investments, where you are investing yourself with this narcissist. The only thing about this investment is it's a lot of one-way streets. You cannot go parallel. They're one-way street. There is one sanction only, and it's about the narcissist. And once it stops being about the narcissist, it stops being. And so then when you don't want to, and you tell the narcissist, that's not wise, I don't want to comply to that, the narcissist says, fine, then you go your way and I go my way, because there's no reason why you can't join and do what I'm doing. We have to live too. You have to live. And I want us to live an adventurous life. It's not all about the children. It's not all about the family. It has to be about us. And so the narcissist, through observation, through communication, to being with you, and knowing what triggers you, knowing that your past now, and you are a result of your past, because your past, if you don't develop a strategy to overcome hurts and pains, and they have integrated into your present tense, then you are living your past now, and you never move forward because you're always locked in the pain, always locked in the trauma. And see, life affords you an opportunity to go forward huge, to go forward big, to go forward powerfully. And see, one thing life does is to get you to introduce yourself to you on a regular basis, because you are in constant uncovery, because you're in constant discovery. And so that can be radical, just dealing with you. Now, if you put a narcissist that is a risk taker, your life may be at risk. Your personality may be at risk, because most narcissists have consuming character. They consume everything. They consume your time, because most of them are controllers. And what I mean, most of them, there are some vulnerable narcissists that like to be controlled with pain, especially if you have two narcissists, a narcissist that is vulnerable and a narcissist that is aggressive. The vulnerable narcissists find the most aggressive narcissists they can find, because they usually like to be dominated. Or if you have two powerful narcissists together, together, oh, you're going to have a whirlwind. And this vortex keep pulling you in this circular life factor. That means you keep going a 360. You end up in the same thing. You do the same thing. You hear the same thing. Now you start saying what you hear. Because when you have problems hearing, the speech therapist, what they do, they don't examine your speech. They start examining your hearing. And the way you hear it is the way you perceive it. And the way you receive is the way you perceive. And the way you perceive, that's the way you're going to conduct your life. And when you conduct your life out of you have misheard the factor, then you start living a misled life. You start going off course. And then you recognize in your subconscious, you'll recognize that this is not right. This is not me. I'm changing too quick. I'm changing too much. And when I get by myself, I don't like myself. I don't even know my reality. I'm changing because now I didn't like getting on the edge, being on the edge all the time. But now I'm getting more aggressive. I have started to look for what I didn't like, and what I didn't like has started to be a pattern. I noticed my character is changing. I noticed my speech is changing. I noticed that now I can become irresponsible just like the narcissist. And I've noticed some transference of ways that wasn't normally me. In about 2 years, 5 years, you're trying to figure out where you are. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like, because you've taken on the taste buds of the narcissist that is a high risk factor. You're taking on the adrenaline living of the narcissist. And when these things happen, you know, it's like going to war. Our brain release peptides in our blood system that counteract that place that keeps us hyped. And we are always on the high. And it'll keep you from feeling. It'll keep your adrenaline going. And so that way you don't feel the pain. You are moving and you're moving forward, because there's certain things that have to be done. And when you're living adrenaline living, it starts being a have to. I have to climb that mountain. I have to get on the boat. I have to go to the ocean. I have to swing off this building. I have to jump over this building. I have to live furiously and live with selfishness. I have to have this mandate that was given by the narcissist. The narcissist that is a risk taker will risk you sexually. They will have multiple partners. They will introduce you to illicit sex that you never even thought about, and you never in a million years thought that you would engage in. They will have you to do strange things. Things that you wouldn't imagine in a million years that you would do. And some of these things, you forget them. You deflect the thought because you cannot live consciously with what you are doing. So you act as if it isn't there. So all of these things you do start to disappear from a lack of accountability, from a lack of responsibility. And when you're talking to people, even the way you look start to change. And the lifeline in your eyes start going further and further back until you seem like it's a blanket stare. It seemed like you dazed out. It seemed like knock, knock, who's there? No one. And so no one is there because you're giving up yourself just to have a relationship. Do we call this love? Because when you study the narcissist, all their behavior is one-sided. And you see, it's not about you. It's not about the children. As a matter of fact, as it grows, unless there's a golden child, now the children are getting to be too much. And this is even the narcissist. You got some narcissists, they are responsible in paying the bills, but they're irresponsible after the bills are paid, because they know they got to have somewhere to go, somewhere to live, that after that adrenaline rush, they have to have somewhere to go to. And you don't know whether to run, you don't know whether to stay, you don't know whether, you just don't know. You got all of these mixed emotions. Can you imagine that these emotions are flying in, and they're flying into your life at one time, flying into your mind at one time? And the only way you can handle it is to divert from the reality of what you are experiencing to your reality of what you love. And what you love is the narcissist, but you never have the confidence of their love being returned to you. You never have the confidence that you'll be happy. After the love bombing, the devaluation starts immediately. The control starts immediately. The trauma bonding. Come on here. We're going to talk about the trauma bonding, because that trauma / bond. They're bonding you through pain. They're bonding you through a lack of mutuality, and everything is about one-sided. You know, when you get lost and you go down one-way street, you'll find yourself so far gone because there's no way to turn around. And your life keep going out, going out, going out. And the one-way street connects to another one-way street that connects to another one-way street that connects to another one-way street. And each one-way street take you farther out from your goal until one day you look in the mirror, you don't even know who that person is. You barely know your name. Your whole system is off. You got this adrenaline rush. You don't know whether to stay still. You don't know whether to fight. You don't know. You just don't know. Your whole system is confused. And most narcissists are well aware of what is occurring with you because you are not the first. They are not a virgin with this relationship. I mean, they're well skilled with this relationship. They can even tell you some of the processes that you'll go through. And when you go through those processes, the narcissists begin to recognize those processes. And when you start to demonstrate, they say, she's here, she's at level 4, she's at level 7, she's at level 10. And at level 10, I got to apply the pressure. So let me pull out. Let me go into a devaluation process. Let me discard her for about a week and then I'll come back. Discard her for 2 days. I'll come back. Let me not have sex with her to show her I'm in control. Let me wake her up and not let her sleep. And so when I say, let's go, we going on the edge, you would not hesitate. You are immediately in and you don't care about the risk. You care about the fact that you don't want to lose to narcissists, even though you know the decision that you're making are not warranted of your behavior. It doesn't calibrate you. It doesn't indicate you. And so now you are living mysteriously, adventurously. And you find that if you had a saving account, that saving is dwindling. And a lot of times yours is dwindling, but the narcissist, because most narcissists that do business, a lot of them are very focused based on the narcissist you have and the personality you have. When they're low-ranking narcissists, they're usually unstable, can't keep a job. But when you got a narcissist that's pretty skilled and they're in the money, they stay focused. And you say why? Because they don't need a lot of sleep. They're always in turmoil. They lack a lot of empathy, and they just don't care about anything but what they care for. And they're very focused, and they don't care about hurting your feelings. When it's time to make money, they make money and they bring it in. So the narcissist is caring about the image, especially when you have the somatic narcissist. Everything is about imagery or the covert. Everything is about how they appear. And so they want to appear adventurous. And when you get the older narcissists coming in with an adrenaline rush, living on the edge, they're too old for what they're doing. You know, they, instead of buying a car for the family, they go buy a 2-seater and they got 4 kids. So the kids can't even ride in the car. Why? Because the narcissist is interested in imagery. And that imagery takes them to the edge. They will go buy the car when you tell them it's not wise because the business, our budget has went down and we're going to have to lay off employees. Well, the narcissists don't care. He like, lay them off. But the narcissists come back in and they will pick people they want that is under their guise, like a lot of flying monkeys that will do exactly what they say. And the narcissists hold on to the supply that does exactly what they say. And these are the risk-taking narcissists. And most supply that is with the risk-taking narcissists are very, very, very compliant. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to make him mad. And the narcissist is living in an irritation, creating an irritation. When you have holes on the inside, you're not going to produce wholeness, because out of who you are and what you are is what you're going to cater, what you're going to multiply, and what you're going to duplicate. So they're duplicating their unhappiness, and they got you because you're happy. When you get a risk-taking narcissist, a lot of time the thrill is to get this sedate person, and the personality is totally opposite of the narcissist that is a risk taker, and you break them in, you break the mold, you break their caliber, their character. And once you break their caliber and they conform to who you are, now the narcissist become this serial cheater. And this serial cheater without protection come home to you and lie and cry like, they really miss you. And then you so desperate to keep the narcissist, even though your mind is talking, your mind is telling you you're at risk, the children at risk, your business at risk, your body is undergoing changes, your body is at risk. And when you go across the board, it is a high risk factor living with a risk taker. And this is a risk taker. Is no volunteering, nothing. We're not negotiating the terms. The terms are already set. You come into my terms. You come into what I want. And the moment we negotiate, I'm going to a discard. I already went to the devaluation. And the discard, they can discard you right in the home. They go to silence. They ghost you, or they criticize you, or they're never happy. No matter what you do, their favorite stuff, they just know you're going to take this risk. I want to do this weekend. And you say, but look at our schedule. We don't have a time that we can do this until 3 weeks out. And maybe 3 weeks out, we can go to the mountains. We can do whatever you want to do. No, they want to go. Then he takes the boat. And you know that you live in Florida. You got crocodiles that are walking across your yard. And they say, well, we're going. We're going at night. And all you got is a lantern to see with. And all these crocodiles, that is their thrill. And every time they make it back, it's going to get worse. Why? Because they made it through the storm. They made it back. You made it back. So when you come up against it and say, I don't want to do that, that is dangerous. You made it back. There was nothing against you. Nothing's going to happen. I know what I'm doing. I am skilled at what I'm doing. I know that if we go across that, I know when the crocodiles are there. I know when they're asleep. I know what I'm doing. You're going to have to trust me. And if you can't trust me, why are we together if you can't trust me? I thought you loved me like that. No, you don't love me. You're about yourself. And then that accusation starts. And when the accusation starts, guess what happened with you? First, confusion. Because you're thinking, why don't he see this? Then you start feeling guilty. And then you start feeling shame. Now you are condemned. And now you go to compliance. Once you comply with the narcissist and they win, the narcissist think it's okay. It's okay that I'm doing what I'm doing. It's okay that we leave at a whim. Well, we'll pay the mortgage next time. Let's call the mortgage company because we need this money to go here. And then you call the mortgage. Then it's 2 months. Then it's 3 months. Then the narcissist is under stress. He said, I only did it because I was trying to please you. I only took you places because I want our relationship to be fresh. I want it to be good. But it's your fault because you don't ever want to do anything. You don't ever tell me you love me. You tell the dude you love him all day to him. It makes him sick. So now all of the shifting of the blame, the risk taker is a risk taker. They will risk you. Understand the risk taking narcissist. Can you identify this risk taking narcissist? He dreams and he sleeps another adventure. He loves the glitter, even though it's not gold. And their attention span is just almost worse than a child because they are always doing, and they get used to doing, they get used to being, around the crowd, they get used to taking over the crowd, taking over the conversation. And I mean, they can go to a neighbor's house and it is packed with people, hundreds of people in this house, and the narcissist will tell you to come here, come in the bathroom, rush to their bedroom, want to get an intimate moment, and you're like, it's not even our house. There's all of these people. Oh, what did you do that for? Then all hell break loose, and then you submit, and someone walk in, and you embarrassed. You're totally shamed, and they're angry because you disrespected their house, but they're not going to say anything because people have a tendency to be polite and try to be nice, especially in certain peer groups. And so now you have to decide, can I continue living like this? It's wearing on my body. It's wearing on my mind. It's devastating my family. My kids don't really know me, and they don't even want to be with me because it seemed like I don't want to be with them. My family is calling me crazy. My friends, the friends that I do have that he hadn't taken over, they are calling me crazy. I go to work, I can't concentrate. I'm tired. My business, I can't concentrate. And I start losing money, and now I know that I'm going to have to get myself together. But to do this may mean I may have to disconnect. and you're not ready to disconnect yet. So now you go into another pattern, and the pattern is going to become a consistent behavior mode until you think that's who you are. It's not who you are. You are powerful. That's why he loves you. And it's his love. And the love of a narcissist is all about me. That's the song they sing, and they sing it in the right key. Because what they call love, you call torment. You call abuse. What they call love. In 1 Corinthians, those of you who are Christian, the Bible tells us what love is. Through John 3:16 tell us what love is. For God so loved the world that he gave. Not take. That's why it's risk taker. They're taking the risk and involving you in their risk. Your life can easily slip away if you don't recognize who you are, if you don't recognize the pattern. Remember, notice all patterns of your life. A pattern consists of after 3 times, and you keep legislating that behavior. Come on, in 21 days, you got to have it. If you've done it for 21 days, sorry guys, that's my alarm. If you've done it for 21 days, you got to have it. If you do it for 90 days, you are incurring a lifestyle. If you do it for 120 days, you will soon have an identification card, because you've been so consistently doing it until you think that's who you are. Do you know how great you are? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know you can be the most confident person and you don't have to depend on another person for who you are? That you can express yourself freely and be freely? But you got to come into some knowledge of some things. You got to come in some time spent with you. Know how you think. Know what you want. Know how you do it. And sometimes you may need a confidant. Have a confidant that the narcissist can't stand. Why? Because they can't control them. They won't become a flying monkey. Don't bring them over to the house and discuss things around the narcissist and he take advantage. Have that friend where it's you and them. You can go to the library. You can go to a group, a team, and you can discuss things that you feel free discussing because they can be trusted. All trustworthy friends have to be proven. And once they proved faithful, you have someone that can keep you strong. Every now and then they put this little gold stone of words, of announcements, of encouragement in your ear, and you find yourself getting stronger even when you don't went through a battleground. Some of you are free and you're being hoovered, and the narcissists tell you how they missed you, how their life is not fun without you. Why? Because they want to take another risk at the expense of your life. Let's think about it. Who are you really? What do you really want? What are your goals? Because you don't have to be there. Your life is unlimited. It's as limited as your creation, as your creativity. It's as limited as your energy, your ability. You can become whatever you want and feel good about it and not feel shame if nobody agree. I don't need your agreement to be who I am. I already have God's agreement who made me that way. Now you figure it out whether you want to enter into my space or stay out of it. Either way, I'm going to be good. And so will you. I hope this video made up for the other video. I love being on there because it's live. And I'm coming back live. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and push that bell. And every time I come on, guess what? It's you and me. And we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And so I want you to write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. If you want to have a session with me as a life coach, let's do that. Let's make it happen. You want to take a risk? Let's risk your life with strength, with advancement. You say, why would that be a risk? It's a risk of you getting better. It's a risk of you getting more powerful. It's a risk of your beauty shining forward. I'm telling you, you're the best thing that happened to you besides God. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want you to be. Life grows with what you know. So know a lot and grow a lot. I am Helen Sadler. I'm your destiny helper, and I find a great opportunity every time we meet. So make sure you subscribe, push that bell. Every time I come on, it's us. It's us girls and us girls and guys. How about it? All right. I'll see you on the next video. I'm Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. God bless.